When you add a user to a workspace, they may or may not be able to access it. First of all, let's just add a user to the workspace. I've got 3 users in here. I'm going to add another one. That's all I have to do to add a user to the workspace. I've now added Betty to this workspace. So that's great, but what I don't know is I may have added that as a wrong email address. Now I can compose and send an invitation. I can now send an invitation to this email address, and it will be sent out as a message, and it'll include a link in there that can be used to sign up. Now let's talk about a particular problem. First of all, let me log out, but let me log in as Betty. But one thing I want you to notice is that Betty has a different email address. So as Betty accesses this workspace, she's going to encounter an error message like this. It says, Betty example, Betty is not in the members role. Now, wait a minute, we added her, right? But we added a different email address. Now, when a person gets here, there's basically 3 possibilities. One is maybe they haven't been added to the workspace. Maybe this is a workspace that nobody's added them to, and in that case, they can request membership. Okay, so whatever the reason is, and you can then request membership. However, Betty may have been added. The email address may have been spelled incorrectly. When you entered the email address, you might have just entered it wrong. Another possibility is that Betty has multiple email addresses. And here the thing is that you added one email address, they're using a different one. So in this case, Betty's got 2 email addresses. She's logged in here as bettyexample.com, but she also gave out to other people Betty Davis. So what she can do at this point is say, okay, let me make both of those email addresses part of my profile. I can request a confirmation email. So this is basically saying, okay, now an email has been sent to this address. If we then go and take a look at that, she'll get a confirmation message like this. So now this is to the correct address, and it said it's to confirm that you're going to add it to your profile. So if I click that now, we'll see that Betty now has both the Betty address as well as the Betty Davis address as email IDs. And now, if Betty goes back to this one and accesses, she'll now have access to it because she now has the correct email required to that you entered in there. So whenever anybody hits this page, it means either nobody has added them to the workspace and they can request membership. Maybe somebody has misspelled their email address and they can request membership. Or maybe they have multiple email addresses and the other email address was added. In that case, they can register their other email address with their profile. And once they do that once, that stays with their profile, and any place where somebody used the other email address, they'll have access to it.